Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the official Do Good Better podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Kirby. With me today, one of my dearest friends. He is the founder of ConnectLabs. I like to refer to him in town as kind of like the Elon Musk of Fargo. And I mean this in the most sincere freaking way. He and I had a radio show for dang near a year called Do Gooders Radio. Brianlarry, welcome to the official Do Good Better podcast.
Man, thank you. I'm jacked to be here. I've been wanting to be here for a while. As I've been watching you explode with all the amazing things you do and all the people you're helping. I'm just like, I can't wait to be on this show one day. So I'm proud to be here, man. I appreciate you having me on.
This platform has very many roots in what you and I did at a radio show. And if you've never heard Do Gooders Radio, we were on a local radio station here in Fargo, and we would bring in and we would interview local nonprofits. And the whole backstory was I would do interviews on the things, and Brian would be there to ask pertinent questions that anybody else would ask. And the idea is if I can get Brian engaged or I can get him interested in the topic, then this is well worth the nonprofit's time to sort of pursue. I use my bellwether on whether this is or not. And it was wonderful. And we had the best chemistry on. It was great. Just way too much work for way too little whatever. But it was the greatest. And so this is a perfect time to have you on the show because you're doing really amazing things within the nonprofit world. Before we get into that, somebody's scrolling through Facebook, or they're scrolling through YouTube, or they're listening on Apple Podcasts. They want to know who the hell Brianlarry is. So 5,000-foot view, who on earth are you? What do you do? How'd you get to where you are now?
Well, name's Brianlarry, founder and CEO of ConnectLabs. ConnectLabs is a data-focused company. We're hell-bent on creating smarter communities by using technology and people. Who am I? I am a father. I am an entrepreneur. I am a community advocate. I believe that this world can be a better place if we all come together. So when people ask who I am, I always say that I am the person trying to bring the world together. That's who I am. Kind of broad overview of me, I guess.
See, this is why we get along so well. We just have the same outlook on life, which is great. That's what made for great radio. It's going to make for a great podcast. One of the things that you're heavy into technology, heavy into online presence and that kind of thing. Yep. One of the things that you told me early, and I eat humble pie as infrequently as I possibly can because I don't like it. And here and now I will admit, we had conversations very early on. I mean, I'm talking like December, January on the legitimacy and the need for virtual and events not in person due to either a global pandemic, really, and didn't even have pandemic implications, but you just had this belief that you could connect more people in a virtual environment than in person only. I declare now that you were right. And I declare at the time I was wrong, man. And I am officially apologizing for all the sass I gave you in texts and things like that, because what you said was absolutely right. And it took a global pandemic for me to figure that out in the fact that using a virtual platform for some of these fundraising events have exponential reach. And you are how did you kind of come up with that as a starting point?
First of all, I want to say thank you for that, man. I really appreciate it. No, dude, I really appreciate you giving me that shout out like that because a lot of people come to me for a lot of advice. We have lots of conversations and then they run off of my ideas and they give me no credit whatsoever. It's like, good Lord, man, all you got to do is say, thanks, Brian, I appreciate you. So that's that give back piece, man. And so I totally appreciate you, man. How I kind of started thinking about this was, probably about a year and a half ago, I started to see more and more people engage online, right? And as I'm watching the world start to connect more online, I'm like, you know what? There's a better way to do a ton of things online because you can reach more people, right? You can host a party, but I can't attend, but I can join on my shorts online at home, right? So the opportunity is to get in front of more people that way. So I just started seeing that the online world was going to be the future. And then when all of a sudden this pandemic hit and everybody and their mama jumped online, I was like, yes, this is my world. I want to see more people online. I want to see more people connecting. And I honestly think this pandemic has been really good for the world. It's connected us in a way we weren't connected before. And that's a good thing. It's connecting people with their other communities that are not within their own community, but are people that are just like them throughout the world. That's very, 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 very valuable, especially during these times when there's so much crazy stuff going on. Don't get me wrong, there's a downside to everything. And the downside is you get the negative people, all of a sudden they can connect too. And now you have a larger group of negative people spreading more negativity throughout the world. But to combat that, all we have to do is create a larger positive network. If we can create a larger positive network, we can quiet that noise down, you know? And so that's kind of the vision of what I'm working on right now, is trying to create more of a positive network. If we can get more people creating more positive feeds, supporting more positive things, there's a big opportunity for the world to come together in a way that it never came together before. So I see this pandemic as a good thing as well as a bad thing.
I think it clarifies that being a positive voice, an enthusiastic positive voice, will attract more people than ever before now, because people are searching out for something that's not just the worst of the worst, whether it's politics or religion or science or whatever the case may be. It's always easy to go down the negative route, right? Always easy.
That's the easiest. Go ahead.
No, yeah, it's the easiest route to do. It's really difficult to stand your ground and be overtly positive and be authentic about it, which I think that's why I like everything that you do. You do it with a sense of authenticity in the positive realm as well.
You know, it's like you said, it's easy to lay down or to be negative, because that's just the easy road to go down. But to stand up and be positive and keep being positive, even with all that negativity around you, it makes you a stronger person. In this world right now, I feel that it's very important, especially even with my kids. I'm teaching them how to be strong, teaching them how to take a belief and believe in it. And no matter what, you stick to it. I don't care if all the naysayers come in and tell you you can't do it, you can't be this, you won't be that, you can't do this. Don't get rid of that negativity. Focus on the positive things you're trying to do, and just continue to keep doing that. And God, could this world become amazing? And I think it could become amazing.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good message to nonprofits who really think that it's really easy to just go back and kind of sheltered out and just all right, well, let's just internalize everything, and let's not project positivity because the world doesn't need it right now, and we're gonna get. I think if you don't, you get lost in the shuffle. And I think the more positive, the more tangible positive things that you can sort of showcase, the better. Which leads me into what you're actually doing right now. Because tangible things that you can see that are bringing a little more positivity in the world. So you, my friend, have been nominated and have graciously accepted the role to help one of our local cancer fundraisers, Real Men Wear Pink. Kudos. If you're watching this on YouTube or you're watching this in the video clips, pink tie, like a boss. Looks good on you.
My man, appreciate it.
And when you and I spoke about this a long time ago, when you're sort of considering it, your brain works like mine, where you're like, okay, that sounds great, and then there's a list of like 50 other things you want to do in addition.
Yep.
Talk to me about the project you have going on, but how did you come up with this, and why? Because it's really easy to ask about 50 friends to ask for like $100. You make your goal, and then you move on with your life, right?
Yep.
You decided to take the hard route, which I know you love doing, because there's a lot more benefit on the long end of just like, look what I accomplished bit. And I know you personally, because I know that.
Yep.
But talk to me about what you're doing for the Real Men Wear Pink fundraising thing here in the Fargo-Moorhead area, because it's just awesome.
I appreciate that, man. So I got nominated by Kyle Olson from Keller Williams, a good friend of mine. He reached out to me and says, "Hey, I got a competition for you." And so while I love while I love competition, I'm like, all right, let's go. Not really knowing what it was. And then all of a sudden they sent me the link, and I'm like, all right, let me look into it. And like you said, there's a ton of things that go into when you decide to work with a charity, and the things that need to be done. If they don't get done, you're not going to raise any money. Right. So that was one of my biggest worries is will I be able to raise enough money, and will the charity support me doing it? And two, will I bring enough awareness to bring on a bigger reach past what I do, right? It's never about me and what I accomplish. It's about the bigger picture. Mm-hmm. And the bigger picture is bringing awareness and raising money to eradicate cancer. It's doable. Yep. I mean, it's doable. We just have to all come together to make it happen. So while being nominated, after talking with Hannah, who runs Real Men Wear Pink, I just kind of came up with this concept of I want to create something that's interactive online and offline. The vision was to bring that online world and that offline world together. And so by doing that, I had to figure out how could we do that. There was an amazing piece of art downtown, the Mario Wall, done by Lauren Starling. And I just love that piece of art. I thought that's just really cool. And you see people jumping up, because if you remember Mario Brothers, right? You just automatically want to jump up and hit a brick. That's just what it is, right? And so seeing people do that, I thought she was the perfect person. And so I asked Hannah to reach out to Lady Bosses of Fargo Moorhead and try to find us an artist. Sure enough, Lauren was one of the first people that reached out and wanted to be a part of this. And I thought, okay, this is amazing. We had a conversation on Zoom and try to figure out what is that piece of art. And as we're sitting there, I said, well, we should do a wall, right? We definitely got to do a wall with art on it. Well, what's that art going to be? And I says, well, who's your hero? Who has helped you throughout? And all of a sudden we're like, bing, light bulb came on. Who's your hero? And then all of a sudden the cape piece followed. And the idea was to allow people to donate $10, put their name on it. And literally Lauren is literally drawing everyone's name on there with her hands. She has an amazing story behind all this also. Her mom and her stepmom both passed away from cancer. So having her be a part of this was amazing, because this is not just an artist doing something for a paycheck. She's doing this, one, for pro bono. Two, she's doing this because she's tied to this. And that's what I wanted. I wanted more connection. I didn't want people that were involved in this that just want to do it just to be doing it. I wanted people to be connected to the cause, because that's how you bring true awareness and raise real money. It's not just about you want to do something. And so having her connection, it just all tied in together. And so when she draws a name on the wall, she also tells the story. Yes, the first one we did was from Hannah. So Hannah's friend had passed away. And so she's like, I'm doing this for Hannah and her friend. And it's kind of emotional when you hear that, right? It's like, wow, this is really going on in my community. And so it kind of connects people to that story, to that cause, potentially bringing more awareness and potentially raising more money. So, I mean, the concept is, again, you can go down there once the wall is done. You'll be able to go down there and stand by the cape, which is actually pretty cool. I'll send you a photo. You can kind of throw it up in a pop-up right here.
Oh, we're linking it. Yeah, it's amazing.
Right,
yeah.
right.
And I need to stop you there, because this is not just like a little mural on a wall. This is a whole side of a building. This is a massive art piece. Like, I don't know how, I mean, is this 20 feet tall and 40 feet wide? I mean, it's stupid
it's
big.
Massive. I should figure out what the dimensions are, but yeah, it's got to be at least 20, 25 feet tall. It's got to at least be about 20, 25, 40 feet wide. I mean, this is a massive piece of art.
So this isn't like an acrylic painting you're going to find in a coffee shop hanging around.
Not
this
at
is
all.
a massive undertaking. And
Yes.
what it does is that you pose in front of it, and it looks like you've got a superhero cape sort of flying behind you, right? That's what it looks like.
Interactive pieces.
Very interactive, very Instagrammable, very social media friendly. And then what you talked about, though, too, is that it became purposeful fundraising. And that I think is what a key thing that a lot of nonprofits are missing. They're fundraising for the sake of fundraising rather than being purposeful with it. And I think that's losing a lot of people who want to have a deeper connection with the nonprofit or whether the organization. And what you're doing is you're providing that. Even if you don't have a direct connection, like if nobody within your immediate family has passed away from cancer, you do have somebody within your network that probably has or has been affected negatively on it. And that is that power connection that you have. And so this is the brilliance of this program. And even further, the videos that you are doing while they're writing names up on there have gotten a boatload of traction, right?
Yep. You know, the opportunity there is, we want to help you tell your story. You know, a lot of people have these heroes, you know, whether it's you supporting someone else or someone just going through it themselves. You know what I mean? They're their own hero. The idea is that we can help you tell your story and get more people. We kind of help you create your own community, your own bond, and now you don't feel alone anymore. You know, the goal is, when we see, I can't wait to see this wall done with all those names on the cape, right? And I want to be one of the first ones to wear it, because to have all those names and be the superhero of all those people to help bring this together, I love it. One of the main reasons why I got attached to this is because I have daughters, you know, and God forbid, if my daughters ever caught cancer, I mean, I would want to make sure there was something in place that could help them through it, you know, and having, you know, the Breast Cancer Association be there for people with breast cancer, I think that's an amazing opportunity here, you know. Not to mention, if the wall goes viral like I want it to go viral, I'd love it to go national. So if you're watching this, please go like, share, comment on any posts that we're doing on social media and help us move it around, because if we can start spreading this story in our community, can it help your community and then your community and the next community, on and on and on? That would be the main goal here. It's not just about Fargo Moorhead. Can we get this to go nationwide and get everyone to understand that cancer is a national problem, which some people understand. It's a national problem, but it starts within the community, right? It starts within your own community, figuring out how can you raise money, how can you raise awareness, how can you help there? And then can we trickle that on, like I said, to the next community, the next community, the next community.
A lot of organizations have a very difficult time with peer-to-peer fundraising because they don't really have the concept, the materials, and the handbooks, and the here's what you need to do, and the platforms or whatever. What you're building here, and I wrote it down. You can't tell it's chicken scratch. You've got almost a community-to-community fundraising platform here, and I think that is so uniquely different than anything that I've seen recently within this area because it's. There's no restrictions. It's simple. It builds on a larger theme of that sort of community involvement. You've got local artists, which I really love, and that art community that has just been keeping us sane for the last 9 months during COVID. And so you're bringing together all of these things, and you're fundraising from a local community, from a national organization, which is, again, unheard of in this sense of like how to take these big, massive entities that go nationwide, but how do you personalize it on a micro level? I think you've done that brilliantly. And it's really simple and easy to do. And then the individual shout outs and the interactive piece to this is really brilliant.
You know, I'm working to even do more, Patrick. I'm working with this is kind of cool. I'm working with a company
That's what I love about you. This is only the beginning to something I know.
Right. So I'm working with a woman-owned business over in Moorhead, Minnesota, called Personal Touch Marketing and Manufacturing. You know, they manufacture hats, shirts, pens, mugs, all that kind of fun stuff like that. Being the fact that they're women-owned, I love that piece to it. I reached out to them and said, is there any way you guys can help us do something? So they went to work putting together a website for us. They went out there and picked a few pieces that we're going to be able to, once the art is done and all the names are on it, they're going to actually take that piece of art and put it on a shirt, put it on a hat, put it on a pen, put it on a mug. I'll see the link for that too. But they're gonna help us take it from online, offline, and now you have it for life. You know, you buy the hat, you buy the pen. There's a really cool coffee mug that I'm in love with. It's like stainless steel and literally has the art on there. It has someone standing by it, so it looks like the cape's flowing off of them. And once you attach that names to it, you walk around with that mug. You're going to be showing true support for the cause. You know what I mean? I'm excited to see those pieces come together. So working with organizations like that have just jumped in and says, hey, we want to do whatever we can to help support what you're doing. I'm just in love with it, man. So Personal Touch Marketing and Manufacturing over in Moorhead, they're going to be a huge asset to helping us grow this outside of what we're already building. Another good friend of mine, Chris Orth over at Fire Neon. Patrick, I think this would be perfect for you. I'm just saying. So he literally created neon art, which I think is freaking amazing. He created neon art. So he created a neon pink bow tie, which is actually a piece of what the charity stands for, right? Real Men Wear Pink. So he created this amazing neon bow tie that's going to be auctioned off. So again, he donated his time. He put energy in behind it. He also has someone he had to be help battle through cancer. So again, another personal connection to the actual cause locally, helping support locally, but again, on a national level. I think that's the biggest key piece. When you see these national companies, you see them as, oh, they're so big, my money's not going to be anything, right? Oh man, don't think like that. Don't think like that. Think locally, right? Think locally. Think how can you put the things in place you need to have locally. So there's a ton of organizations that Hannah has told me about locally, different machines that are used for breast cancer that are here locally. So that money paid for that machine locally. So if we can think on that level, again, grow it locally and then take it national, there's a better opportunity here for you to bring awareness and to raise money to the cause.
I think
so lots of little.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, what you also said too is sustainable and evergreen, right? So this is something that you talked about real early on again, is that, you know, you put something on the internet, it stays there forever. So some of these messages will stay on in perpetuity, right? This lives on forever on the internet. It's also, what we talked about a lot on our radio show, and we talk a lot about in some of the trainings that we do over at Do Good Better, is that an event is just an event. For the love of God, it's just one day, it's 1 hour, it's whatever. That's fine. Great. What are you doing afterwards? And what are you doing beforehand that has absolutely more importance than you do the actual event itself? And I think what virtual events are doing and what this pandemic has shown is that, yeah, it is less and less important on the event and more important on the relationship building for the long term. And if you are making impact and you're sending up videos and you're hosting these things forever on the internet, you can go back to them and throw back Thursday of, hey, remember when we had these 30 names show up on our wall?
Exactly. Yep.
This sweatshirt that you get to have as a promotional item that you get to use in perpetuity and over again every year, right? Yep. So then you can reuse the marketing, right? That saves you a whole headache on kind of making concepts, and then you get that sort of a consistent messaging across the board, which is really key.
Yep.
And I think that's, again, I can say brilliant so many times because I just really like this, and I love how. You and I talked about it a couple weeks ago too, and I said that, knock on wood, I hope this kicks off because it was so uniquely you, first of all, for the idea, but so unique for what the platform could be used for. It's not just a let's send out an email campaign. It's not like let me post on social media a picture of me wearing a pink shirt. It goes far beyond that, and that's the impact that I really love about what you're doing here.
You know, when you talk about the evergreen pieces, one of my biggest goals for this is to have this live on forever. This isn't a one-time thing. The ideal is to use walls like this all throughout our community and have local artists continue to support charities by creating interactive art that gets more people in the community involved, brings more awareness. This isn't a one-time thing. I don't want to raise money just for this one cause, this one thing, right? I want to continually raise money for this thing because that's how you literally eradicate something, right? You have to continually keep raising and keep bringing awareness to what's going on. And if I can continue to create those connections in this space for this charity, there's a huge opportunity here, but not just for this charity, for other charities too. You know, there's lots of cool things out there that we could put in play that helps charities have evergreen content that lasts forever, raising money forever. Because some of our videos, when they go out there, if they get 1 view now, but then all of a sudden 10 months from now get 300 views and 10 more people donate, well, guess what? That one video that was placed at this time has now done all this without them having to go recreate anything else. And so, you know, there's a long-term view here, man. There's a long-term goal here. You know, I'm telling everybody to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, hashtag whosyourherowall. I'm also trying to grow those social accounts. So again, by having that online presence with that Instagram account and then with that Facebook account, we can continually put up content. So if people follow us on hashtag whosyourherowall, continue again to like, share, comment, help us move this around, help us bring awareness, man. I would really would appreciate it.
I love it. We're going to have all those links down in the comments, all the links down in the bio and in the show notes, so that you can go and follow Larry and his crew and how they raise a bunch of money. And if you're sitting on a sack of money, you go give it to Brian and his campaign. It's super awesome. And if you get a chance, donate $10, throw your name up on the wall and make this thing go viral with it. I think
I love it.
It will in the near future. Brian,
I would love it to go viral.
We need to do this more often because we've got way more stuff to talk to on the technology side, on the event side, on all the things that I think we can use for another day, my friend.
I would agree. Every time I talk to you, you always inspire me. Your energy, man, your energy, it's like my energy and I feed off of that.
Yes.
So normally when I talk to you, I get done, I'm like, I'm revved up. Just because of Patrick. So I love everything you're doing, man. All the great things you're doing right now in this virtual space, helping these charities out, helping to raise money, creating these playbooks for them to understand how to raise money in a better way. That's what they need right now, man. They need you right now. Without you, they're struggling. They don't understand what's going on, or they're spending way too much money with someone else just so they're going to go out there and fail. Having someone, and I'm not just saying this because you're my friend. I've watched what you've done. I've seen the amount of money you've helped people raise. Again, your knowledge is what's saving a lot of these charities right now. And I think that more people need to get a hold of you to understand how you can help them. There's a lot of value right there, man. There's a lot of value.
You're the sweetest human being in the world, and your check's in the mail. Thank you so much for being
no check needed, my friend. No check needed.
Oh, man, you're the best.
All from the heart.
Oh, I love it. Brian, thank you so much for being a guest on the official Do Good Better podcast. We'll have you back soon. Again, click on all the links in the show notes. Go send Brian some love via money. Help him make this sort of hero wall a massive event. And again, we'll talk to you later, and we'll get you back on another episode. We got a lot more to talk about later here on the official Do Good Better podcast.
Have a good one, my brother.